damn gas cap. It's like the most annoying thing about this bike. Gotta get it like perfectly. There we go. What's up, guys? So we're on the mini bike again, just going out, ripping through neighborhoods and stuff like I always do, trying to get out of the house and have some fun. God, there's cops everywhere. Like a bunch of cars lined up here, and I'm pretty sure it's like a food donation or something. But look at this, guys. This is crazy. They're lined up around the block. It's crazy times we're living in, where people have to line up this far. Like, look, it goes down that road and then back around. Absolute craziness. My favorite part about this bike is that you can just, all these little roads, you can just wheelie like pretty much every little road. Like on a big bike, each little bump and everything is so much more exaggerated. Like, you can't really wheelie a Harley on these tiny little roads. So stoked to have one of these bikes again. I've gotten just over 300 miles on it. It says 306. Which is less than I actually have, because the speed sensor's in the front. So when you do wheelies and your wheel stops, it just reads 0, and your mileage isn't going up, even though you're still putting miles on the bike. So I actually have more than 300 on this bike. Haven't had any issues so far. Actually, the one thing that I did notice, I took the back wheel off the other day, and the rear axle's a little bit bent. So I just went on Partzilla, I think, and ordered a Grom axle. It's like 14 bucks, but that should be in the mail soon. Other than that, I've been putting this bike through hell. I haven't had any issues with it. It's been great. Super stoked about it. Get a little swerve on. Getting more comfortable on it too. I'm kind of getting back some of my old tricks. It's definitely feeling better and better the more I ride it. God, swerving on this bike is so fun. It's like a little toy. You can just throw it around. It's not like the Harley where it just starts going wherever it wants to. Little one-hander action. I need to get it so that I can go from this to sit down. Every time I try to sit down on it, it just falls down. Has no power to keep it up, so need to work on that, get some more combos. Thinking about throwing a handbrake on it eventually. Kind because I don't know how to use a handbrake. Kind of want to learn. I'll probably never throw one on the Harley, but with this little bike, figured I could put one on here and you can do combos, and just opens up a lot more tricks for you. Also still need to get a 12 bar for it. This little luggage rack is okay, but I think it looks terrible. Let's see if I can get a third gear. I gotta pop it up in second and then shift to third gear because it won't pull up in third gear. Shifting on these motors though is hard, so there we go. I missed the first one. Third gear feels so much better though. The whole bike is so much smoother. It wheelies at a way better speed too. It's not so slow. That's the thing with these. If you tap that brake a little too hard, you lose the wheelie. It comes straight down, especially in third gear. It doesn't have enough guts to keep it up. That's why I always recommend learning on these little bikes, because the balance point is so small on them. It's not forgiving. Like on the Harley, you can pull it up. If you hit that brake a little too hard, you have enough power where you can still pull it back up. You don't have to keep it in that tiny little balance point. The balance point's way bigger. So with these bikes, if you can wheelie these, you can wheelie anything. Same thing with the Grom. The more power it has, the easier it's going to be. See if we can get another shift. I always miss that first shift. God, these things are so fun. See if we can make this turn. There we go. See, told you guys I'm getting better. I'm getting more comfortable on it, so it's a lot easier to do these things once you get comfortable on a bike. When I first had it, I'm so used to the Harley that it's such a different feel. I had to relearn all this stuff over again. Shift into third. Don't let it drop. See, as soon as you let it drop too far, you lose the wheelie. But yeah, I keep getting asked more questions on my gearing. So the gearing that I put on it, it doesn't make it easier to wheelie. It actually makes it harder to wheelie. But considering these bikes have such short gearing, it's like a pit bike. Here, I'll kind of explain. So first gear, usually when you get the bike, the shorter the gear, the more torque you have, which means the easier it'll be to wheelie. So your first gear will last from 0 to, let's say, like 10 miles per hour stock. On a stock Honda Grom, your gearing is 0. First gear will be like 0 to about 15 miles per hour. So when I change that gear up in the front, so it pretty much just brings that first gear from 0 to 10 to 0 to 15, kind of makes it a little longer. That's the same with the rest of the gears. Here, I'll do a quick little 0 to, we're going uphill right now too, but we'll see how long it takes me to get to 60. See, I hit like 18 in first gear, or 40, 50. Usually that would be like top speed of fourth gear. 60 miles per hour. I still have a little bit of RPMs to go. See, if this was a flat road, I could have hit 65. easily. I was thinking about doing a 190 in it, but not so that I could hit a higher speed. I don't really want to go faster than 65 on these little bikes, but just so that it makes it a little bit easier to wheelie, makes it easier to pull up. But at the same time, that's kind of the beauty of these little bikes, is that you got to do everything perfect. Got that one. Fuck. There we go. God, third gear is just so much better. It's so much smoother. It's a way better speed to be wheeling at. You can keep up with traffic a lot easier. Yeah, 300 miles on it, 0 issues so far. Like I said, the last bike I had, I got thousands of miles on it. Pure wheelies, never an issue. You don't need an oil mod or anything with this. You just fill them up and they're good to go. The only thing is these carbs. The Honda Grom, they're fuel injected, so they don't have the issue these do. It's the same on my Harley, but when you get back to 12 o'clock, it kind of wants to cut out on you. So you kind of have to fight that a little bit. It's not a big deal. You get used to it, but when you see people doing like no-handers on Groms and they take their throttle hand off, that's pretty impossible to do on this bike unless you turn your idle up, because as soon as you chop that throttle, it just wants to drop back down on you. It doesn't have enough weight to fight the engine brake as much as a Grom does. That's just because the fuel injection on a Grom, it keeps pumping gas through. Even when you chop that throttle, it keeps pumping. With this bike, you chop the throttle, it switches from your main jet to your idle jet. So you might be able to play with the jets a little bit and get that a little better. But even on the Harleys, like when you have a carburetor and you drop back and you chop the throttle, it wants to pull back on you, so you have to get past balance point and kind of use the weight of the bike to keep you up. But yeah, that's the only thing that I've noticed on these bikes really, is when people take their throttle hand off of Honda Groms, it kind of keeps pumping that gas, so it lets you do stuff like that. Like with this bike, if I chop the gas, just wants to come back down on you. It doesn't want to stay up. But yeah, I went out and rode with Groms the other day. I was keeping up with them. Pretty much wheelies the same speed now with the gearing that I have. Before, my second gear and their second gear is way different. Come on, dude. Thought he was gonna pull out in front of me. See that? The whole playground's taped off with caution tape. Can't even go on the playground right now. Pretty much nobody out at the parks. This is crazy. You love that. I hope all of you guys are getting through this shit though. It's craziness. I hope everybody stays healthy, you know. Hope everybody's family is healthy. It's a crazy time. And you know, it's history. We're being a part of history right now. It's just stuff our kids and our grandkids are gonna hear about. And it's kind of surreal to be part of it. It doesn't really feel like doesn't even feel real. It kind of feels like a movie. But you know, it is what it is. And thankful I'm healthy, thankful my family's healthy. Gonna try to just stay positive throughout this whole situation and hope for the best. That's all you can really do. I think this is where the food donation is. Yeah, I'm not going down that way. That's where all the cops are. That's where the food donation is. You know, there's people sitting there hours in lines right now just to get food because they can't afford anything for their family. And here I am riding my motorcycle around town, so super fortunate, and definitely don't take this for granted, that's for sure. See if we can go over the speed bump. Yep, not a problem. Up the hill. Third gear, cruising again. Oh, this is pretty perfect. I've never been back here. Should bring my Harley back here and practice some donuts. It's been hard trying to find spots that I can practice those at. Like I said, everything's super slippery here and covered in like black tar. So it's rare to find like old school parking lots like this where the ground's actually concrete. So yeah guys, I'm probably gonna end it here. Just gonna head back home. If you guys liked the video, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.